and welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Allie. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Foundation, which looks like this. It is the third addition to the Infallible line, which consists of the Pro Matte, Pro Glow, and now the Total Cover. Now, I have to be completely honest with you. This is going to be more of a first impressions video over anything else. Reason being is I literally just got this a couple days ago and put it on today for the very first time. It is the foundation that I'm currently wearing on my face right now, and I am so excited to be talking about this. I couldn't wait another minute. I had to sit down and do a video on it because for being someone with a really bad skin issues, meaning combination, oil, dryness, and having several different places on my face that have these issues, it makes it very difficult for me to find a foundation that I feel like is going to be geared towards all of those problemed areas. So when I put this on, I could not believe my eyes. I still cannot believe the amount of coverage that this foundation is giving me, and of course the finish. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this guy. This guy is the Total Cover Foundation, and it comes in 12 different shades. The shade that I am in is a 305. I did start out with 306. Unfortunately, that shade didn't work for me, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit later in the video. L'Oreal has launched this in 12 different shades, and it retails for $12.99. Now, I can tell you, if you shop around, look at Walmart or Target or even CVS, you are able to find this a little bit cheaper. The list price is of course on the L'Oreal website, so you know the drill. Look for it, find it, and buy it. Like, pause this video and go buy it. This, though, looks a little bit different than the rest of the Infallible foundations. It's actually the same size. You're getting 1.0 fluid ounces as you would be getting with these other foundations. It's just that the shape of this container is a little bit different. Also, the applicator on this guy is different from what L'Oreal has done before. So let's go ahead and look at the claims on the back of the foundation that tell us a little bit more about the foundation itself. Alright, so the claims this foundation makes is that the finish is a natural neutral finish. It wears up to 24 hours, and the coverage is full coverage. The texture is air light. Just like the rest of the Infallible foundations, this does claim to wear up to 24 hours. What are my thoughts on this foundation? I feel like the claims are all true. Have I worn this for 24 hours? No. In 2 weeks, I do plan to make a follow-up video where I give you a little bit of an update on how I feel the foundation performs over time. Again, this is just my first impression just because I cannot get over how beautiful the finish on this foundation is, and just some tips that I want to share with you all because I have seen mixed reviews on this. Like I said, I feel like this is air light. I feel like it's a very natural finish. It's not overly matte like the Pro Matte. Even though I do like this foundation, it kind of does come off too matte. So overall, yes, I do think that all the claims so far that L'Oreal is making for this foundation are all true. I was pleasantly surprised that the texture of this foundation and the way that it settled, the finish is incredible. Now, I am going to give you a little bit of my opinion-based tips-ish. I have seen some mixed reviews on it, and that's why I wanted to mention that in this quick little video. Casey Holmes, which I'm sure a lot of you, if you are part of the beauty YouTube family, have watched. I love her. She did a review on this, and she has talked about her skin issues and the fact that she is oily. She did a demo and first impressions on this foundation, and unfortunately it didn't work for her. Now, This doesn't mean that it's not gonna work for people with oily skin, but here are some tips on how this foundation can work for every skin type. First, I would recommend that you prime your face. This is a thicker formula. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to swatch this on the back of my hand just to show you the texture, finish, etc. And like I mentioned earlier, the applicator is unique to this foundation, whereas the other foundations from this line do not have a fine tip like this, which is really nice because it allows for you to have more control of how much product comes out, and you end up saving a ton and wasting less. So I definitely appreciate that L'Oreal did that. And now that I have the foundation on the back of my hand and you've seen how moussey that was, I'm gonna blend it out for you. I would say the primary reason why you want to prime, that's really thick. I put too much, guys. So that's another thing. Try to work in small sections. I say this about every single foundation. Whoa, my hand looks darker. But yeah, that's what that looks like right there. And it doesn't have a complete matte finish. I would say it's more of a satin, which is one of the reasons why I love this so much. But getting back to my tips, let's not get sidetracked here. Getting back to what I was saying about priming. Priming is very important because this is going to be a thicker mousse-like formula. It's going to settle into fine lines, and it's not L'Oreal's fault. It's just the fact that in order to keep this formula light and natural looking and all of the components that give you the finish, if you like this finish, because I'm loving this finish. And by the way, I did use 2 different primers on my face. I went in with a Gold Flakes one, and I also went in with the L'Oreal Lumi primer, which is one of my favorites just because I do have dry patches in this region right over here on the tops of my cheeks, and I have oily areas all around the apples of my cheeks, along the sides of my nose, and underneath my lip, and on my top lip. So my face is just, it's got everything going on in different areas. So for me, I use 2 different primers. I like to hydrate my face. I also like to give it an extra luminous glow. So I did do that before going in with this foundation. Now, it's not only important to prime this foundation, it's also important to set this foundation. I went in with my new Wet n Wild Photo Focus finishing powder. I love this stuff. I feel like it's I don't know, like I can't even begin to describe it. I am working on a review video. This is just so airlight, and it's so finely milled that it sets your foundation so beautifully. This is meant for photography, so of course you're gonna get a really nice finish where it's not satin, but it's not quite matte, so you get a happy in between where your canvas just looks flawless. So that's what I'm using on top of this foundation. I also went in last with the L'Oreal Infallible setting spray. I love that stuff, especially because a girl is oily and dry, so I find that when I do set my face with powder and I put on that setting spray, it returns some of the moisture that the powder absorbed. So I'm happy. I mean, I can truly say that my skin has never looked this good, not even with the MAC full coverage foundations. So yes, I do think this is full coverage. Yes, I do think this is lightweight. I don't feel like I have cake face right now, and I'm gonna zoom in to show you what my face looks like close up. I do want to tell you as well that I do have textured skin, so I apologize in advance. A girl's working on it, okay? Alright, so here's a close-up of the finish of this foundation. Don't mind this disrespect right here. Just ignore him. But I did want to zoom you in just to show you that even though I do have issues with my skin, I have texture, dryness, oiliness, and all that hot mess, that this foundation has left me with a flawless canvas, in my humble opinion. Now, getting back to the tips, I do want to mention that I recommend that you use this foundation with a brush. Do not use a beauty sponge. This is a thick formula. It's moussey and it's thick. The last thing you want is to go in there with a beauty blender and start pouncing this rather than spreading it on top of your face. You're not trying to get this to sink, you're spreading because the formula is thicker. I actually went in with a new favorite foundation brush, and guess what? It's by Wet n Wild. Oh my goodness, I have had this foundation brush for months and I've neglected to use it. I always either use my Real Techniques expert buffing brush or my Sigma Kabuki. Those are the only two brushes I use unless I'm using my beauty blender or my Real Techniques beauty sponge. I've never used anything like this. I've always thought that they were just meh, like how is this gonna help me blend? Girl, surprise! This is the only tool I use to blend out this foundation. I'm not lying, I swear. I'm not lying. This is, by the way, that's what the back looks like. Don't think I'm lying to you. I did go ahead, and now I kind of feel bad because I wasn't able to record a demo for you. I'm terribly sorry. This was just, I just wanted to try the foundation, gather my thoughts, and then come on camera and talk to you about them. When I was going in with the brush, I was like, oh, this brush works perfectly with a foundation this thick. It's not going to, even though it does look like it has a lot of product on it, I have been using this with other foundations just because I can't put this baby down. You do want to make sure you set the foundation when you're done applying it. Go ahead and put some powder, put a setting spray, whatever you feel like is going to help you achieve the best finish on your face. Now, for someone like me who wears makeup all the time, that's easy to say because I know that the routine of applying a little bit of powder and mist is what works for me. If you have dry skin, girl, just go ahead and go in with the spray. If you have oily skin, just go ahead and set it with powder because otherwise your oils will peek through. I mean, this isn't claiming that it's gonna clog up your pores or change pre-existing skin issues. So just bear that in mind when you use this foundation. You know, I hope that these tips, in my opinion, helped you. I have seen other videos on this foundation and I feel like I can give a well-rounded opinion based on what I've seen and my experiences thus far. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye!